Chapter 8. 1. He answered me and said, The Most High made this world for the sake of many, but the world to come for the sake of the few. 2. But I tell you a parable, Ezra, just as when you ask the earth, it will tell you that it provides very much clay from which earthenware is made, but only a little dust from which gold comes. So is the course of the present world. 3. Many have been created, but few shall be saved. 4. I answered and said, Then drink your fill of understanding, O my soul, and drink wisdom, O my heart. 5. For not of your own will did you come into the world, and against your will you depart, for you have been given only a short time to live. 6. O Lord, who are over us, grant to thy servant that we may pray before thee, and give us seed for our heart and cultivation for our understanding, so that fruit may be produced, by which every mortal who bears the likeness of a human being may be able to live. 7. For thou alone dost exist, and we are a work of thy hands, as thou hast declared. 8. And because thou dost give life to the body which is now fashioned in the womb, and dost furnish it with members, what thou hast created is preserved in fire and water, and for 9 months the womb which thou hast formed endures thy creation, which has been created in it. 9. But that which keeps and that which is kept shall both be kept by thy keeping. And when the womb gives up again what has been created in it. 10. Thou hast commanded that from the members themselves, that is, from the breasts, milk should be supplied, which is the fruit of the breasts. 11. So that what has been fashioned may be nourished for a time, and afterwards thou wilt guide him in thy mercy. 12. Thou hast brought him up in thy righteousness, and instructed him in the law, and reproved him in thy wisdom. 13. Thou wilt take away his life, for he is thy creation, and thou wilt make him live, for he is thy work. 14. If then thou wilt suddenly and quickly destroy him, who with so great labor was fashioned by thy command, and to what purpose was he made? 15. And now I will speak out about all mankind. Thou knowest best, but I will speak about my people for whom I am grieved. 16. And about thy inheritance, for whom I lament, and about Israel, for whom I am sad, and about the seed of Jacob, for whom I am troubled. 17. Therefore I will pray before thee for myself and for them, for I see the failings of us who dwell in the land. 18. And I have heard of the swiftness of the judgment that's to come. 19. Therefore hear my voice, and understand my words, and I will speak up before thee. The beginning of the words of Ezra's prayer before it was taken up. He said, 20. O Lord, who inhabits eternity, whose eyes are exalted, and whose upper chambers are in the air. 21. Whose throne is beyond measure, and whose glory is beyond comprehension, before whom the hosts of angels stand trembling. 22. And at whose command they are changed to wind and fire, whose word is sure, whose utterances are certain, whose ordinance is strong, and whose command is terrible. 23. Whose look dries up the depths, and whose indignation makes the mountains melt away, and whose truth is established forever. 24. Hear, O Lord, the prayer of thy servant, and give ear to the petition of thy creature. Attend to my words. 25. For as long as I live, I will speak, and as long as I have understanding, I will answer. 26. O look not upon the sins of thy people, but at those who have served thee in truth. 27. Regard not the endeavors of those who act wickedly, but the endeavors of those who have kept thy commandments amid afflictions. 28. Think not on those who have lived wickedly in thy sight, but remember those who have willingly acknowledged that thou art to be feared. 29. Let it not be thy will to destroy those who have had the ways of cattle, but regard those who have gloriously taught thy law. 30. Be not angry with those who are deemed worse than beasts, but love those who have always put their trust in thy glory. 31. For we and our fathers have passed our lives in ways that bring death, but thou, because of us sinners, are called merciful. 32. For if thou hast desired to have pity on us, who have no works of righteousness, then thou wilt be called merciful. 33. For the righteous, who have many works laid up with thee, shall receive their reward in consequence of their own deeds. 34. But what is man, that thou art angry with him? Or what is a corruptible race, that thou art so bitter against it? 35. For in truth there's no one among those who have been born who has not acted wickedly, and among those who have existed there is no one who has not transgressed. 36. For in this, O Lord, thy righteousness and goodness will be declared, when thou art merciful to those who have no store of good works. 37. He answered me and said, Some things you have spoken rightly, and it will come to pass according to your words. 38. For indeed I will not concern myself about the fashioning of those who have sinned, or about their death, their judgment, or their destruction. 39. But I will rejoice over the creation of the righteous, over their pilgrimage also, and their salvation, and their receiving their reward. 40. As I have spoken, therefore, so shall it be. 41. For just as the farmer sows many seeds upon the ground and plants a multitude of seedlings, and yet not all that have been sown will come up in due season, and not all that were planted will take root, so also those who have been sown in the world will not all be saved. 42. I answered and said, If I've found favor before thee, let me speak. 43. For if the farmer's seed does not come up, because it has not received thy rain in due season, or if it has been ruined by too much rain, it perishes. 44. But man, who has been formed by thy hands, and is called by thine own image, because he is made like thee, and for whose sake thou hast formed all things, hast thou also made him like the farmer's seed. 45. Know, O Lord, who art over us, but spare thy people, and have mercy on thy inheritance, for thou hast mercy on thy own creation. 46. He answered me and said, Things that are present are for those who live now, and things that are future are for those who will live hereafter. 47. For you come far short of being able to love my creation more than I love it. But you have often compared yourself to the unrighteous. Never do so. 48. But even in this respect you will be praiseworthy before the Most High. 49. Because you have humbled yourself, as is becoming for you, and have not deemed yourself to be among the righteous, in order to receive the greatest glory. 50. For many miseries will affect those who inhabit the world in the last times, because they have walked in great pride. 51. But think of your own case, and inquire concerning the glory of those who are like yourself. 52. Because it is for you that paradise is opened, the tree of life is planted, the age to come is prepared. Plenty is provided, a city is built, rest is appointed, goodness is established, and wisdom perfected beforehand. 53. The root of evil is sealed up from you, illness is banished from you, and death is hidden, hell has fled, and corruption has been forgotten. 54. Sorrows have passed away, and in the end the treasure of immortality is made manifest. 55. Therefore, do not ask any more questions about the multitude of those who perish. 56. For they also received freedom, but they despised the Most High, and were contemptuous of his law, and forsook his ways. 57. Moreover, they have even trampled upon his righteous ones. 58. And said in their hearts that there is not God, though knowing full well that they must die. 59. For just as the things which I have predicted await you, so the thirst and torment which are prepared await them. For the Most High did not intend that men should be destroyed. 60. But they themselves, who were created, have defiled the name of him who made them, and have been ungrateful to him who prepared life for them. 61. Therefore my judgment is now drawing near. 62. I have not shown this to all men, but only to you and a few like you. Then I answered and said, 63. Behold, O Lord, thou hast now shown me a multitude of the signs which thou wilt do in the last times, but thou hast not shown me when thou wilt do them. Chapter 9. 1. He answered me and said, Measure carefully in your mind, and when you see that a certain part of the predicted signs are past. 2. Then you will know that it is the very time when the Most High is about to visit the world which he has made. 3. So when there shall appear in the world earthquakes, tumult of peoples, intrigues of nations, wavering of leaders, confusion of princes, 4. Then you will know that it was of these that the Most High spoke from the days that were of old, from the beginning. 5. For just as with everything that has occurred in the world, the beginning is evident, and the end manifest. 6. So also are the times of the Most High. The beginnings are manifest in wonders and mighty works, and the end in requital and in signs. 7. And it shall be that every one who will be saved, and will be able to escape on account of his works, or on account of the faith by which he has believed, 8. Will survive the dangers that have been predicted, and will see my salvation in my land and within my borders, which I have sanctified for myself from the beginning. 9. Then those who have now abused my ways shall be amazed, and those who have rejected them with contempt shall dwell in torments. 10. For as many as did not acknowledge me in their lifetime, although they received my benefits. 11. And as many as scorned my law while they still had freedom, and did not understand but despised it, while an opportunity of repentance was still open to them. 12. These must in torment acknowledge it after death. 13. Therefore do not continue to be curious as to how the ungodly will be punished, but inquire how the righteous will be saved, those to whom the age belongs and for whose sake the age was made. 14. I answered and said, 15. I said before, and I say now, and I will say it again, there are more who perish than those who will be saved. 16. As a wave is greater than a drop of water. 17. He answered me and said, As the field, so is the seed, and as are the flowers, so are the colors, and as is the work, so is the product, and as is the farmer, so is the threshing floor. 18. For there was a time in this age when I was preparing for those who now exist, before the world was made for them to dwell in, and no one opposed me then, for no one existed. 19. But now those who have been created in this world, which is supplied both with an unfailing table and an inexhaustible pasture, have become corrupt in their ways. 20. So I considered my world, and behold, it was lost, and my earth, and behold, it was in peril, because of the devices of those who had come into it. 21. And I saw and spared some with great difficulty, and saved for myself one grape out of a cluster, one plant out of a great forest. 22. So let the multitude perish which has been born in vain, but let my grape and my plant be saved, because with much labor I have perfected them. 23. But if you will let 7 days more pass, do not fast during them, however. 24. But go into a field of flowers where no house has been built, and eat only of the flowers of the field, and taste no meat and drink no wine, but eat only flowers. 25. And pray to the Most High continually, then I will come and talk with you. 26. So I went as he directed me into a field which is called Ardat, and there I sat among the flowers and ate of the plants of the field, and the nourishment they afforded satisfied me. 27. And after 7 days, as I lay on the grass, my heart was troubled again, as it was before. 28. And my mouth was opened, and I began to speak before the Most High, and said, 29. O Lord, thou didst show thyself among us to our fathers in the wilderness when they came out of Egypt, and when they came into the untrodden and unfruitful wilderness. 30. And thou didst say, Hear me, O Israel, and give heed to my words, O descendants of Jacob. 31. For behold, I sow my law in you, and it shall bring forth fruit in you, and you shall be glorified through it forever. 32. But though our fathers received the law, they didn't keep it. They did not observe the statutes. Yet the fruit of the law did not perish, for it could not, because it was thine. 33. Yet those who received it perished, because they did not keep what had been sown in them. 34. And behold, it is the rule that when the ground has received seed, or the ship a sea, or any dish food or drink, and when it happens that what was sown, or what was launched, or what was put in it is destroyed. 35. They are destroyed, but the things that held them remain. Yet with us it has not been so. 36. For we who have received the law and sinned will perish, as well as our heart which received it. 37. The law, however, does not perish, but it remains in its glory. 38. When I said these things in my heart, I lifted up my eyes and saw a woman on my right, and behold, she was mourning and weeping with a loud voice, and was deeply grieved at heart, and her clothes were rent, and there were ashes on her head. 39. Then I dismissed the thoughts with which I had been engaged, and turned to her. 40. And I said to her, Why are you weeping, and why are you so grieved at heart? 41. And she said to me, Let me alone, my Lord, that I may weep for myself, and continue to mourn, for I am greatly embittered in spirit, and deeply afflicted. 42. And I said to her, What has happened to you? Tell me. 43. And she said to me, Your servant was barren and had no child, though I lived with my husband 30 years. 44. And every hour and every day during those 30 years I besought the Most High, night and day. 45. And after 30 years God heard your handmaid, and looked upon my low estate, and considered my distress, and gave me a son. And I rejoiced greatly over him, and I and my husband and all my neighbors, and we gave great glory to the Mighty One. 46. And I brought him up with much care. 47. So when he grew up, and I came to take a wife for him, I set a day for the marriage feast. 47. So when he grew up, and I came to take a wife for him, I set a day for the marriage feast.